My name's Doug Trudeau. Welcome to Moving to Tucson. I'll be your host. Uh, the housing market correction is something that's been talked about a lot lately. Exactly what does a housing market correction mean? Now, some people think, well, there's going to be a bubble and it's going to be like back in 2008 and all the prices are going to plummet. No, we're not going to see that. I experienced that. I was a realtor back during that time, and it was a tough time for a lot of people. I saw houses that were selling for $780,000 going on the market within a year and a half for about 360. It was just amazing. Houses were selling almost for half of what people paid for them, and it took years and years and years for people to recuperate. Well, right now with the way things are with the lenders and everything, we're not going to see that. So what's happening with the market as it is today? Well, the market is in a correction. The Fed raised the interest rate for the banks for them for lending, and I don't want to get into that. There's a lot of videos out there that'll explain that. But it impacts on interest rates. Now, as interest rates go up, it's going to cause some people to go out of the market, and it's going to impact on the market and slow it down a little bit. We haven't seen the economics 101 supply and demand. It's been more of a frenzy, kind of like a shark frenzy or a piranha frenzy, where it just economics kind of went out the window, and and prices just skyrocketed willy nilly. The housing market correction is intensifying right now, and a couple of companies are experiencing. They're actually laying off people. One 470 people they're laying off. The other one 450 people. They're seeing a slowdown in the market. The housing market slowdown. It's a little bit more abrupt than what some people thought it would be. Uh, New home sales fell 10% to the lowest in April since April of 2020. Now, I'll show you a chart in a few minutes of prices in the Tucson area from 2020 to 2022, so you can kind of get an inclination of what's going on there. Uh, this gentleman, I believe his first name is Mark Zandi, is the economic economist that a lot of people follow. And he says, in terms of home sales, they're falling sharply. Housing demand is coming down fast. Well, part of that is people are being forced out of the market. Now, let me get. I think it's that one that has the. Yeah. So we're down here in Pima County. We're in Tucson. So, not getting into all the particulars of it, and I can't really best explain it, is right now homes are 23%, not really 23% above value, but it's 23% above what your income should be for buying houses. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll try to do a better job in the future. If you want an explanation of that, let me know in the comments and I'll comment on it. But Phoenix, if you look at the Phoenix area, now Phoenix is at 46. Tucson is half of that. So as the market corrects itself, you're going to see prices in Tucson are going to be less impacted than they are in Phoenix. Now, if you were up in Boise, Idaho, now Boise, Idaho is just crazy. It's at 73. There you may see what we saw back in 2008 of houses dropping down to about 50% of what they were. So for right now, what's happening in Tucson is things are going to be a little bit slow. And see if I can find where. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Um, Zandy says that the regional housing market having become historically overvalued, so that's what they're saying is at 23 and 46, the overvalue of it, that may see a decline of 5 to 10%. Now, Phoenix is going to be more susceptible to the 10% than Tucson. Tucson maybe 5%. But I think what's going to happen in Tucson is we're going to see prices, instead of going up 14%, 20%, 22%. I think we're going to return closer to the traditional 2 to 3% annually. Predictions are that there's going to be more houses available come this fall, and time will tell if that's going to be true. And let's see what we have here. Historically overvalued homes, prices dropped 10%. And that's something I just talked about. So some of the things that are going to impact on that are going to be unemployment. Now here's the unemployment rate. Here's what it was back in May 2020 during the midst of COVID. Now it's down to about 3.6%. So as employment improves, as employment stays steady, as more better paying jobs are available, you're going to see the economy now, inflation, controlling inflation a little bit. And that's going to help as far as the housing market. There's a lot of moving parts as to what's going on. But my main concern is the housing market, because that's the industry I'm in. I mean, after all, I'm a realtor. Right here, according to Fred, the National Home Price Index, you can see from 2018 to 2020 down here that things have increased dramatically. I mean, you're looking at nationwide, the average 195, and now it's up to, what does it show here, 294. So let's jump on over to Tucson and kind of get a feel for the Tucson market. So all properties, we're going to jump back to all properties. I was playing around with this a little bit earlier. So here's what I was talking about. Back in 2020, Tucson itself, now there's Metro Tucson encompasses Tucson, Oro Valley, Marana, Vail, and Sahuarita. This program only allows me to plug in 4 properties or 4 markets in here, so I don't have Sahuarita in here. I could probably plug that in later if. And let's see. So Tucson market, we were in 2020. The median home was 220. You can see that Oro Valley was 340, Marana 285, and Vail 275. Now Oro Valley has always been the more expensive part of the Tucson area. That and the Catalina foothills. If you're interested in the Catalina foothills, I do have a couple of videos about the Catalina foothills, where you can stay if you want to visit there, and what the housing is like. And you'll see that houses and condos and townhomes are more expensive than they are down here in Tucson, down in the valley, so to speak. Now in 2021, Tucson, the average, it jumped up 14.4%. You can see that Oro Valley is 16.2%, Marana 14%, and Vail 10%, which is kind of interesting because Vail jumped quite a bit, and has jumped quite a bit in 2022. It's a matter of demand. A lot of people are wanting to move to Vail, and that's an area that I've been kind of focused on for a while, out in that area. It's a nice area. The aquifer out there is a little bit better, more plentiful, but that's something that you can check some of my other videos and get a little bit more information about that. Now in 2022, Tucson, you see we jumped from over here at 220 up to 310, almost $100,000 in a matter of a couple of years. But look at Oro Valley. They're up 21% to 478. But wow, look at Vail. Vail 22.8%. Now Tucson is up there. Marana, for whatever reason, and Marana is a pretty good area. I'm curious as to why Marana was only 16.9%. But if you look at single family residents, you can see that the information is different. Now, what we were looking at before was all properties. So now we're going to look at single family residents. So you can see the increases again. Oro Valley is the more expensive area throughout. Townhomes, same thing, from 2020 to 2021, you saw the increases on it. Look at that, Vail, 9.3%, and in Vail now, townhomes jumped up 44%. That's tremendous. That tells you the Vail is a very popular area. Now, Vail being kind of a rural area, more of a rural area, you'll see that they're not mentioned here in the condos. And Marana isn't mentioned till 2022. So the average condo in Tucson was 125, then it jumped to 140, and now it's around 177. But if you look at Oro Valley, they went from 215 up to 300. And Marana Vale is not in this, but Marana, interestingly, didn't have condos in the first 2 years. I'm kind of curious where they're at. I think it's closer to Continental Ranches where the condos might be. It might be up in Dove Mountain. So that's something for a future video. So we're going to cut all that off. So the real estate data rolling from April to May in the U.S. housing market, the new home sales fell 19%. Now what some of the builders are doing right now is they're rolling back on some of their basic prices of their homes. I've seen stuff come back where they're actually lowering their new home base price. Now, are they boosting up the cost of amenities that are added to it? You know, that's I haven't sold a new home for a while, so I really can't say on that. But it's interesting what's happening out there right now. The market is correcting itself. Should you be afraid to buy a house? No, you shouldn't be afraid. Are people being forced out? Yeah, some people are being forced out. And it's not Chicken Little, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. No, the sky's not going to fall. We're not going to go into a bubble or anything like that. But we will see a correction on it. So I'm going to be reporting in the future and kind of monitoring this and trying to report monthly and give you a little bit more on the statistics of how sales are in Tucson. So if you're looking to move to Tucson, you can make a more informed decision. So again, this is Doug Trudeau. I'm a local realtor in the Tucson area. If you're interested in buying a home in Tucson, I'd be more than happy to represent you. Please give me a call. I would love to have more and more subscribers. So if you're watching this, please subscribe, like, comment. I'd love to hear your comments on it. You know, how's the housing market in other areas? I mean, Idaho, look at that. It was 73 was the rating on it. There's people from Idaho that are looking to come down here. You know, we'd like to know what's going on up there and how much better do you consider Tucson a much better market? So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.